Hey, what's happening? YouTubers are back with a brand new action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse McFarlane Collector Edition Green Lantern Alan Scott. Before we get started on the figure, I do want to give you all an update what's been going on with me and the channel since I kind of went MIA this summer. Sort of took the summer off away from the toy community and toy reviewing just because I wanted to focus on other stuff in my life. I've been working on my online certifications. I've also been downsizing my collection mainly because I'm looking to move at the end of the year. But on top of that, I've been working on a book. But the book itself is in its very early stages, but I can't wait to share it with y'all later. Also, I've been working on a podcast with my buddy Dagger called Utterly Horrific Podcast, where we focus on all things horror movies, horror events, and all this stuff. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and Spotify. We're already 2 episodes in. New episodes drop every Wednesday. I'll leave a link in the description below so you can all check it out. But that's enough about all that. Let's actually take a look at the figure itself. So here's the Green Lantern Alan Scott Collector Edition out of the box, and at first glance when you look at the offerings for the Collector Edition line, not really much difference from a regular DC Multiverse line. Apart maybe from that stand, but we've seen this stand before. And speaking of accessories, he does come with a DC base plate that you see with all McFarlane Toys figures, except the difference with the Collector Edition is that the DC logo is in silver, whereas the regular one is in black. Not much difference like the Nightfall Batman stand, so sorry Homer, you're going to get hit. Now, the figure does come with 2 accessories. He has a translucent lantern, which I believe this is a new sculpt. We haven't seen this one before. And he also has an effect piece that goes over his fist. In addition to that, the Collector Edition also includes this card stand, which we've seen before with other DC Multiverse figures. And speaking of cards, he does come with a data file card, but the Collector Edition looks like it's a shinier finish than a regular card and has that hollow font print. And on the back is a data file. Feel free to pause it if you want to go ahead and read it. Now, in terms of the figure itself, at first glance, the paintwork and sculpting work looks great, and does seem to capture the essence of Alan Scott Green Lantern, just in figure form. And in terms of sculpting work of the cape, it looks great, don't get me wrong, but I'm not really a fan of it as this is a heavy rubber plastic, and it tends to lean the figure's upper torso back just because of how heavy it is. Still looks great nonetheless in terms of sculpt work. And speaking of sculpting work, the sculpting work of the Green Lantern ring on his hand looks beautiful, don't get me wrong, but this is a huge oversight because in the source material, the ring should be on the left hand, not on the right hand. It is kind of a huge oversight in my opinion, and you have to kind of wonder how this thing gets approved before it goes into production. And then when taking a look at the head sculpt, it looks beautifully sculpted. The only thing I really don't like is the left eye on this figure is kind of doing like the Forrest Whitaker eye. And then when looking at the Green Lantern logo on his chest, it is painted on there, which is kind of weird for me because I'm so used to seeing stuff being sculpted on there, whereas now it looks like they're starting to screen print the stuff on the figure itself. All right, now I'm just going to jump right into size comparisons. And first size comparison, here is that Alan Scott Green Lantern standing next to a couple other Green Lantern figures. We have the Hal Jordan Green Lantern on the left and the John Stewart Green Lantern on the right. And next size comparison, here he is standing next to the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern Gold Label Edition on the left and the John Stewart Animated Series version on the right. And next size comparison, here he is standing next to the Action Comics 1000 Superman on the left and the Sinestro Batman Gold Label Collection Target exclusive on the right. And now time for a random mass size comparison that only one person in the world understands the reference to, but still keeping within the McFarlane Toys brand. Here he is standing next to Deku, not Todoroki, and Ochako. My shit in heart. Alright, some overall thoughts on the figure. The figure itself is awesome. It's fine. In terms of the offering as a collector edition line, this is where I have to be a little bit more critical than I am in my reviews, because this is at a higher price point of $30. Whereas other DC Multiverse figures are now $19.99 to $22.99, and of course Page Punches are $25. When you look at the offering for the Collector Edition line, not that much of a difference. And I think, and I hope that McFarlane Toys takes that criticism and feedback for a better output of accessories, making this line worthwhile. Because I think Toy Shiz might have reported on it, they did hear about it at San Diego Comic-Con, and they're slowly working on it. If I had to guess though, I'd probably imagine Wave 4 is when you'd see the changes, just because I feel like they already have the first 3 waves already planned out. But yeah, the figure itself looks fine. Let me know what you think in the comments below, YouTubers. What do you think about the Collector Edition line? Are you happy about it? Are you stoked to get deep-cut characters we might have not gotten before? Sound off in the comments below. And like always, if you like what you see, be sure to hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching.